All right, today on Free Field Train, we're looking at steel rifle plate. This is from RTS Tactical. There's links and coupon codes and all that in the description. It's basically a 17-pound set of plates, so front and back level 3 coated plates, but it's not a spall coating, it's just a coating that keeps it from rusting. So these carriers are pretty slim. They're designed to be worn under a uniform shirt is what they said, and they're slick in the front, so there's no pouches or anything like that on these. There is a little bit of padding in the actual backside of the carrier, so you don't really need a pad behind your rifle plates, or so they say. We're going to be testing these today, and we're going to be using, first up, a real simple thing to test it with is 55 grain pointed soft point 223 from Fiocchi here. You can see that there. And we're going to be hitting it. I put the plate in the carrier, the back plate in a carrier inside a cardboard box. We'll be able to see if any spall bounces off and would be, you know, hit you in the face or the arms or whatever if you got hit wearing this armor. Then we're going to be moving on to green Tip M855 and then Exome 193 55 grain rounds. Now before we get too far into the review, they also make a fully spall coated rifle plate, which is going to become pertinent really shortly here, you'll see. We look forward to also testing that in the near future. I'm going to put links and all that down below to their different offerings so you can kind of compare and contrast the cost differences. But this is the cheapest way to get into steel rifle plates. So we're going to start with our Fiocchi 55 grain pointed soft point. This is our duty ammo at work, so makes a pretty good test for me. We're going to see if we get any spall and make sure it actually stops this. All right, we're going to take a look. All right, so this is the hit with Fiocchi 55 grain PSP, just a soft point round.
Glad I piled the sand next to it.
Yeah.
Because I saw that sand kick up when you hit it.
I concur. Let's put this down here. We'll get you guys a good look. All right, so around the edges here, you've got a significant amount of spall that came through. You can see it coming through and off on the side of the cardboard box. And a little bit up here on the top. And you can see the spall came through this carrier where it's pieces of the round are flaking off and coming up off the carrier. And that's just one round. So that's 55 grains of bullet splattering off of the steel plate, even inside the carrier. So we're going to take it out here. See, we've got nothing coming through the back. Let's pull the steel plate out of there and see how it fared. So there's my hit. You can see the dimple on there. And then there's a little tiny dimple on the back of the plate right there. So we're going to put it back in there and we're going to see how it does against M855 and M193. Oop, wrong way. And I'll try to hit it at the other end so that way we can see another pattern of shot, another pattern of spall off of there. Alrighty. So next we're hitting it with one round of green Tip M855. All right, take a look at that.
I saw something come forward
after
the shot. I don't know if it was that rock or
probably something bouncing flayed off of it.
It might have been the round, I don't know.
All right, so here's our M855. You can see the little dimple there on the plate. We'll zoom you guys in a little there. You see our dimple here on the plate? Obviously didn't go through, and you can see how it kind of shredded the carrier up. We've got a little more splatter off the sides here. I'm gonna handheld you guys, sorry for the bouncing. Got a little more splatter off the side here that I'm seeing, and a little more splatter up the top. And we've got some splatter over here to the side as well. A lot of spall coming off. All right, let's pull that out of the carrier. Take a look at the plate itself here for a second. Obviously, it didn't come through the back. So there's your hit with M855. There's a little dimple on it. And in the back, it's covered by the sticker. So you really can't see anything there that's pumping through. All right, let's go hit that puppy with M193. Try to get it low on the Velcro.
If you take that sticker off, you lower the rating, right?
What's that?
If you take the sticker off, you lower the rating, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's how that works.
I wouldn't put it past.
Totally. Lastly, we're going to do our Exome 193. Same thing, 16-inch barrel, Spikes Tactical AR. But try to hit a little lower. Not my gun. Hopefully that hit it. Let's go take a look. Let's get you in there so you get a better shot. So here's my hit with M193, and here's kind of what we're concerned with this. You can see the significant amount of spall around the bottom of the box. Anywhere it hits, it's throwing splatter all the way around. So here's our hit down here. That gave it a good divot. Let's pull it out so you can see a little better. That gave it a very significant divot there. That's our hit. And on the other side, you can see it's starting to pop through. Didn't come through, didn't throw a slug, but a 20-inch barrel AR might have been a different story. Now, just for giggles, we're going to hit this with a VZ58. That's a 7.62 by 39 rifle, and see what type of splatter we end up with that, and how well it stops it. Yeah, let's get that straight.
Now, just for the record, like all 7.62s, it has sights.
All right, just hit it. That's all.
That's what I'm shooting for.
Because what I'm looking at is you got 123 grains of stuff, and what's your what's the splatter going to be with that much? And I think it's going to be significant. Well, it hit it. Let's go take a look.
That made a noise.
What do you mean inertia? I only have to worry about foot-pounds of energy. Inertia doesn't mean anything. What would inertia do to me? I failed physics. And now I hang out in the YouTube comment section talking to people who actually shoot things for a living about bullets. Ooh. That would rustle some jimmies.
Oh, should be the biggest dimple.
No, I don't know about that. It'll just be the largest around. That's for sure. All right. So, all right, so here's what's left. Let's pull this puppy out so we can actually see what's going on. You have a significant amount of spall that came up into this corner, you can see. Blew holes through. We're not getting whole bullets though. I guess that's a plus. At least I don't see anything that's a whole bullet. There are holes large enough in here where it could be an entire bullet coming out. Not a whole lot left of our carrier at this point. I think that's you.
Yeah.
Right? So, Bring you off into the light. That's our 7.62 by 39. Now you can see on the video there's a whole lot of push behind it, a lot of inertia, but not a lot of energy, so we're not getting a whole lot of dimple. You can see in the back you're getting a little bend. But that would explain why in that upper right hand corner we've got all of this spall coming through that wasn't there before. Because you're taking that 123 grain bullet, it's splattering and shooting up. So the carrier we're talking about is pretty good. It suspends fairly well from the body. You've got lots of elastic, double elastic on the sides, good suspension on the shoulders. If you had to conceal rifle armor under a uniform shirt and it was going to be steel armor, that'd probably be the way to go. It does have the padding on the back, but the question as always is with steel rifle plate. And here's my caution with it, is that uncoated steel rifle plate is a little lighter than coated steel, and it can take more hits than obviously ceramic. It's a lot thinner than ceramic or polyethylene, but the issue you run into is the spall. So in this case we saw, especially with 7.62 by 39, which let's be honest, is a pretty realistic threat inside the United States. You get hit with that, and you've got a significant amount of spall coming up. You saw the holes that it left up there. So if you're in the market for steel rifle plate, this could definitely get the job done. Again, links and all that are in the description. But if we're comparing this apples to apples against ceramic or polyethylene, you do have to be aware of the spall issue, which is a significant safety concern. If this pops up in your face, you could have a problem. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, that's because it's at a little bit of an angle backward, or a little angle forward, or a little bit angle to the side. Here's the problem. You put this on the human body, and you're almost never going to have a perfectly perpendicular shot. And assuming that this is going to be faced perfectly straight and perpendicular against somebody that's shooting you isn't an assumption that I would want to make. You're almost always going to be hit. It's going to be at an angle, and this is always going to be angled because of just the shape of people's bodies. It's going to be either angled up because you got a little bit too much gut, or down because you got not enough. And either way, you're going to have splatter coming off the sides. And if you're holding out a pistol or rifle in front of you, that splatter could easily, as you can see on this box, let's pretend like this was me getting shot at and I had that plate on me. Where did all this spall come up at? I got my pistol out to the side, and this is going to be hitting my arms if I get hit. Is it better than taking a round through your chest? Sure, but steel plate isn't always the solution people think it is. Hey, thanks for watching Free Field Training on YouTube. While you're here, check out one of our other videos, or head on over to Patreon and see how you can get your name put on the videos like these folks. Or you can check out my Instagram feed. There's a link down in the description where you can catch live streams of me rapping while drinking coffee and eating a donut. Later.